Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Forgot to Grow podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I'm talking about Season 4, Episode 6, The Good Samaritan. So I'm just going to start off with the plot summary and just talk about my general thoughts about this episode and any Easter eggs or foreshadowing I might have noticed. So let's just start with that plot summary, which says May sends Simmons on a secret assignment, then takes a team to board Coulson's plane and arrest Reyes and Daisy. The pair hide with a newly picked up Gabe, where Reyes explains that he and Gabe snuck out to race in Morrow's car, but they were attacked by the Locos. Gabe was paralyzed and Robbie was killed. Robbie promised an unknown voice that he would seek vengeance if given a second chance, and was resurrected when the spirit of the Ghost Rider was passed to him by a stranger. Mace finds the fugitives but is overpowered by the Ghost Rider. He agrees to use Robbie against Lucy, and Fitz tracks her to an abandoned Rexon power plant. May takes and hides the Darkhold while Robbie destroys Lacey. After the latter reveals that Morrow craves the Darkhold's power himself. His own experiments created the ghost, and Joseph had ordered the hit on Morrow's car to stop him. Morrow now uses a improved version of the momentum machine to gain the power to create matter. Robbie, Fitz, and Coulson disappear. So that's the plot summary for this episode. This is another great one because we get the reveal that it's actually Robbie's own uncle. It's Morrow who's been behind a lot of the trouble they've been dealing with when it came to the Darkhold, the ghosts, and all this stuff. And it turns out that, the reason his own nephews ended up, the Ghost Rider and in a wheelchair was because of his own actions. So I thought that was really interesting part to this episode, and I really enjoyed just like the fact that we get a little bit more about the origin of this Ghost Rider and how he came to having the Ghost Rider reside in him, that being Reyes. And so I like that flashback. I like that it's kind of going over through the whole episode, like slow little bits, and the fact that we get the reveal of like Gabe saw it one way, but it's actually kind of happened mostly that way, but there was a part that he missed, which was that there was a Ghost Rider looking over them apparently. But I really enjoyed that part, just to be able to see it. You see, just to that first scene of him first becoming Ghost Rider was really cool. That transferring from the Good Samaritan over to Reyes was I just really enjoyed that. It was a cool effect, and seeing Reyes break out of the containment module was a really cool thing. Up to this point, I don't think we've had anybody break out of the containment module before. Well, physically break out. I think people have been able to hack out of it before, but I think he was the first one to actually break through those doors, which they even, I think, mentioned in this episode. So that was really cool. You see how powerful the Ghost Rider is, even in comparison to some of the very powerful Inhumans and other things they have run into throughout the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. So I really enjoyed that little aspect we got. We also get a mention of Peggy Carter at one point in this, and the Rexon power company, or the power plant, is owned by the Rexon Corporation, which ties really into the MCU. I believe that's a company that comes up a few times throughout a bunch of little different things here and there, as this kind of evil corporation that does a bunch of evil shit, and they always just popping up and are always funding crappy shit. And so I just like that we got those kind of name drops in this episode as well. And then we also get, at the end, we see Coulson giving the Darkhold to May and telling her to go get it safe. And that part jumped out at me, considering this being a rewatch. When you first watch this episode and you see that, you don't think a second about it. You're just like, yeah, okay, Coulson gives it to May. May's going to go take it. But on a rewatch, you're like, oh, I know what just happened. So I really enjoyed that little thing, the fact that it leads into these, the next storyline in this season after Ghost Rider, the LMD storyline. I don't want to spoil it too much in case there's anybody watching who hasn't seen the rest of the season yet, but for those of us who have already seen the season, we know that little moment actually plays a big part in the rest of the next couple episodes, and then to the second part, or the second section of this season, which I just really like. Just such a little detail. You're just like, you don't even think about it the first time you're watching it, but when you rewatch it, you're like, that's when May has the Darkhold by herself. But anyways, that's all the stuff I noticed and liked about this episode in particular. What did you guys like about this episode? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today, and Have a good one.